What's up, guys? K.357 coming to you this morning. Today is Wednesday, July the 25th. I had a couple people make a couple of comments on a short video that I did about the use of deadly force and what to expect after a shooting. And one of them asked my opinion about the shooting that happened in Clearwater, Florida back on Thursday, July the 19th over a parking space. All right, now remember now, I'm going to give you my opinion on that. All right, remember that's Florida. This is North Carolina. All right, and I'm basing this opinion now totally on what I observed. I looked at the YouTube video, a very short video, all right? So I don't know everything that happened before. It appears that you would know that you saw what happened, everything before leading up to the shooting, right? Well, the assault and then the subsequent shooting. So this, once again, is my opinion, but I can tell you how that situation probably would have worked out in North Carolina. So in Florida, you know, you have your stand your ground law, right? All right, and as it appears that the shooter was not charged with any crime. All right, well, I can tell you what I observed, what it appeared to me. That the aggressor went over there and shoved this individual, all right? So he was the aggressor. When he shoved him, he committed a simple assault. It was not a murderous or a felonious assault. Now, I'm not saying that perhaps he wasn't going to follow up with more assaults on that individual. In the video, it appears that he shoved the guy and then he was walking away, because I know there was some comments made that the aggressor or the victim was shot in the side, which suggests that he was turning to walk away. Listen, I can tell you in North Carolina, number one, that would have been a simple assault, okay? If that's all he did, standing alone, and especially if he was willing to walk away after that, don't get me wrong, the victim that was on the ground certainly had every right to go to a magistrate and take charges out on him for an assault, for a simple assault, for shoving him. In North Carolina, force must be proportionate, okay? In other words, that man in North Carolina, if this happened, that man could have got up and shoved him back, which if he shoved him back, you know, then things really could have escalated in a bad way, you know, and I always say it takes the bigger person to walk away or stand down from a situation rather than escalate. It's always easier to escalate than to de-escalate. It takes a little bit of tact, professionalism, finesse to de-escalate a situation. So moving to the Florida thing, in my opinion, I don't believe that deadly force was warranted in that case. Now, I know the sheriff said that all the man needed to do was just articulate that he felt like his life was in imminent danger. Wow, I tell you, they really, if that's the case in Florida, they really give individuals a lot of latitude there. I believe that'll happen in North Carolina. I believe that that individual on the ground that shot would have been arrested for using deadly force too soon. In the Florida case, okay, you shove the guy and you knock him down to the ground, but to return deadly force for that, I think that's going a little bit too far. Well, not a little bit, a lot, because a man's life is gone. Now, granted, that man shouldn't have shoved that guy. He should have just stayed out of that, okay? Because like I say, you don't know what's going on. You don't know if people are armed, if they're not armed. But it is what it is. And you know, there may be charges yet that are forthcoming, but the sheriff's office wasn't willing to bring any charges, but perhaps the DA's office may look at this a little bit differently. You know, a lot of times, you know, in North Carolina, and that's where I'm from, 15-year law enforcement background, sometimes in a shooting, we will confer with the district attorney's office to see what appropriate charges, if any, are to be brought forward. But I can just tell you, I've taught probably almost 13,000 people in concealed carry, and in a case like this stopped at the level of a simple assault. In that video that I watched, the Clearwater, Florida shooting over the parking space, it appeared It didn't show the man actually being shot, but it appeared that the individual, the aggressor, was turning to walk away. If that's what he was doing, then I don't believe deadly force would have been warranted. And you may actually see charges brought forth in that case. So that's just my opinion. I think if the same thing would have happened in North Carolina, that individual would have been charged with a crime. You know, to what level of homicide or what have you, involuntary manslaughter or what have you, but he wouldn't have just been able to walk away from that. You know, I had an individual also made a comment, you know, that after a shooting, could you be taken downtown and processed? Certainly you could be taken downtown. You're not really processed, because to me, process means that you're arrested. Could you be taken downtown and asked a series of questions? Absolutely. And you are cooperating in a case like that. But to, and I'm talking about something different than the Clearwater thing. I'm talking about the other video I did the other day. But to make a statement, to make a written statement or an oral statement without attorney present, I think is reckless. I think that you're taking a lot of chances, and you're risking your freedom perhaps in doing it. It doesn't mean that you're not cooperating. You've just been involved in a life-changing event, all right? Somebody's life has been taken, and you obviously felt justified in doing it, or else you wouldn't have did it, right? Don't say anything. Just say, hey, listen, I'll be more than happy to give you a statement, but I want an attorney present with me before I do that. Surely you can understand, and they should. All right, but once again, finishing up this video here on the Clearwater, Florida shooting, it's my opinion based on what I saw, which was limited, but based on what I saw in that video, deadly force was used too quick. Now, obviously, if that man would have followed up with more physical confrontation while he was on the ground, punches to the head or what have you, which, you know, if that's going on, you're in a bad situation anyway. Then I can see where he's able to articulate that perhaps his life is in imminent danger of death or serious bodily harm. Well, actually, serious bodily harm comes before the death, because in North Carolina, if you can articulate that you're probably going to receive serious bodily harm as a result of what this person's fixing to do to you, deadly force is authorized, okay? You don't have to necessarily think you're going to get killed. If you think you're going to receive serious bodily harm, what I saw in Florida, it stayed at the level of a simple assault, okay? But once again, Florida law, a little bit different. They obviously, apparently, give you a little bit more latitude in Florida. Maybe I need to move to Florida. I don't know. But that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make, there's no common sense in that there, where that man's life should have been taken in a situation like that. And like I said, that's my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a district attorney. You know, it's not my job to bring charges. I can have an opinion just like anyone else. But like I said, if that happened in North Carolina, that man not only would have been detained, I think he'd have been wearing some stainless steel bracelets, all right, based on the video. And I don't know. I'm sure some people may disagree with me. Maybe folks in Florida would disagree with me, and that's fine. I don't live in Florida. I don't know all the Florida law. But looks like to me y'all have quite a bit of latitude on the use of deadly force down there in Florida. So I'm going to end that. My opinion only. I can just tell you how that probably would have worked out in North Carolina. It probably would have worked out a lot differently. So, like I say, I'm all for people being able to defend themselves and all that. But, you know, up to the point of taking a life, if you do that, fine and well, but you best be justified in doing it, all right? It's not enough just to say you were scared or anything like that. You need to be able to articulate why you were scared, why you were in fear of your life. And if that happened in North Carolina, what happened to that gentleman in that parking lot, I do not believe he would have been able to articulate. Wouldn't have been able to convince me if I'd have been a district attorney based on the video that I saw. So if there's something that's missing on there that I didn't see, I can't comment on that because I didn't see anything else. All right, so that's OK.357's opinion on that. I'm going to sign off. Don't forget, we've still got our deals going on in the store through tomorrow at 5, and then I'll put a series of other deals for Friday and Saturday. All right, so K.357 signing off. Stay armed and stay safe. See you.